Hello, everybody. Thanks so much for joining us. My name is Selden Short, and I live in Dallas, Texas, and I work for Pathful, which is a family of solutions, actually a new name in the industry when it comes to college and career readiness. So we have a 9-year rich history of supporting teachers who are helping their students navigate the path from school to the world of work. And that's really what we're all about. We want to make sure that we are helping students discover their passions and their futures when it comes to careers. So let's jump right in. First of all, I'll tell you a little bit about myself, and I do have a little slide for this that I didn't use this morning when I was doing this similar presentation. So can you all see my fun little connections of circles? So I'll show you how I kind of got to where I was. So I was a native Kentuckian, born in the Bluegrass State. And actually, that is the farm land that I grew up on. That is our house and our neighbor's house that there in the middle of very lush green area. That is the North Fork of the Kentucky River, right just one field away. We would go down there, go fishing, go swimming as kids. So I grew up in a very, very, very rural environment. Then, and that's me playing with Lincoln logs, which I have to explain to students nowadays when I show them this slide. A Lincoln log, what's that? Then I moved to Sarasota, Florida, and I taught school there for about 10 years and then worked 3 years in curriculum and instruction. And that was me there in Florida, trying to be cool with my tan and sunglasses. And then 25 years ago, believe it or not, 24 years ago, going on 25, I moved to Dallas, Texas, which brought me closer to you all here, there in the land of enchantment. And I have been here ever since. So that's just a little in a nutshell, kind of my journey. So let's take a look at these three solutions that we're going to talk about. We're going to talk about the Pathful series of solutions, and they all have two names. So I'll just say this once, and I think you'll get the connection. We're first going to take a look at what was once called Nepris. For 9 years, people have been calling it Nepris, or Nepris, or Nepri. It got a lot of different pronunciations, which is, I think, why they changed to Pathful as we were moving forward, because it is a full solution on the path to career college success. So Pathful Connect is our first solution we're going to look at. Then we're going to look at Pathful Explorer, which used to be called virtualjobshadow.com. And then we're going to go back to the elementary years, and we're going to talk about what exciting things can we do to support our younger learners when it comes to it's never too early to start thinking about the world of work in an age-appropriate way. We know kids are not going to decide when they're 8 necessarily what they're going to do for their life, although there are examples of kids who knew exactly what they wanted to do when they were 8 years old, and they end up becoming very good at it. But that's the exception, I think, more than the rule. So we'll talk about what was once called VJS Junior, which is short for Virtual Job Shadow Junior. Now, I bet you can't guess what we're going to call it. Pathful Junior. So there's Pathful Junior for the elementary, Pathful Explorer for the middle and high school students, and then K-12, those live connections, it's Pathful Connect. So let's jump into Pathful Connect to start. I have been talking about Pathful Connect for the last 2.5 years. Here we are. Can you all see my Pathful Connect dashboard? As you see here, we have 4 big colorful squares. These are our engagement models, or our highlights. Now they're starting to call them highlights is the new term. And these are the 4 different ways you can leverage Pathful Connect. Let's take a look at the first 2 ways. These are the live engagements that you can do. We'll start with the live industry connections, and then we'll go to the live teacher requested sessions. When you have a live industry connection that you want to connect to with your students, these are one-to-many webinars that our industry partners make decisions about exactly what time, what day, and what topic they want to share about. But it's a whole catalog of live experiences put on by our industry partners. We have over 57,000 industry partners that we work with all over the world, including in China and Japan, Spain and Europe, South America, but most of them are in the US. But we have some really dedicated industry partners who have traveled to other parts of the world, and they're so committed to this platform, they still zoom in, even if it's in the middle of the night, because that's when American schools are obviously functioning. So let's take a look at some of these. Here's one about sloths. So your middle school or elementary students can actually virtually go to the jungles of Costa Rica, where this scientist has been working with sloths for 10 years. She's a conservationist, an educator, and a scientist. You know what? I'm going to register for that one. That looks really fun. And then I look, 1 o'clock on the 7th? Nope, not going to be able to make me join that. So I'll have to click on my second button. This button allows me, if I can't attend, they promise to send me the email of the video, so I'll be able to participate and asynchronously connect to that event. So that is, but I actually am going to submit this because I am fascinated with sloths. There's something about it. So when I sign up, it's going to say, how many students do you have? And normally if I were in a classroom, I'm going to say, 20 or how many I have. But for me, I have to be honest, it's just one. And then if there's a last minute change or something that's happening, they want your phone number, and then I can actually select which classes I want to attend. That creates a link that if my students are learning from their home computers, if they're out sick, if they're on vacation, taking some time off from school that's not normal vacation time, they could also join in and participate in this event. So I will save that. And now I'm going to be there's my access code right there. So you can see now I have special access. We have special safety features because this is a Zoom-based technology. So we put several layers above the new safety layers that Zoom came out with. So we have zero Zoom bombing and those kinds of events. That's really important. We want to keep you all safe in that Zoom environment. So let's kind of navigate backwards, follow backwards to our dashboard. So those live industries can be about any of the career clusters, any of the career pathways. It could be about college career readiness. It could be about emotional well-being and health as well when it comes to students dealing with stress in the classroom. Here's another live way we can interact with our students and teachers can sign their students up for, and it's the teacher requested session. Now this is live, so in a way it's similar to the industry connections, but in this situation, you the teacher are in the driver's seat. So you get to pick and choose what kind of industry partner zooms into your classroom, what kind of topics they share and discuss about, the exact time and length of time they join you, and the date they join you. So I call this the you're the boss model. You're the boss model because you get to pick and choose exactly what happens. So let's take a click there and you can come up with a title. I'm going to say a day in the life of a plumber. Is that how you spell plumber? Or is it B? There you go. How's that? That's better. So, and you can choose a subject area. Obviously, this is going to be about skilled, skilled trades. So maybe construction and trades. And you could select a class, or you can just not select a class and project it on your board. You can put your grades. Like I'm a middle school person. So in a paragraph, I might say, I want students to understand about what kind of education is involved in the trades. Here's some expected takeaways. I want them to understand what kind of financial security you could get by being a part of the skills trade. I want them to have an understanding of your favorite parts of your job and maybe your biggest challenges. And then I would poll my students and have them submit questions that you would want to ask this. And again, it wouldn't have to be a plumber. It could be an engineer, could be a technologist, could be a coder, could be a doctor, could be a lawyer, nurse, electrician. Literally with 57,000 industry professionals, you're not going to be able to stump us. We are going to be able to find somebody, except for maybe underwater basket weaving, everything else we got you covered. And even if we don't have somebody on our list, let's say you find a new career that we've never even heard of yet. We actually have a team of people that all they do is go out and find new careers and find new professionals that want to share with classrooms. So you literally cannot stump us. If you do, we will find somebody for us. And then you just pick the time and date and how long and you submit it. And we do suggest you give a couple weeks advance notice so we can find just the right person for you. Now you can try before then, and if you're lucky, we'll be able to find somebody. But to ensure that 99% fill rate that we have, we do ask for about 10 days advance notice. Let's say, Selden, this looks great, but I'm a busy teacher. I do not have time to fill this form out. It's just, I've got too much going on. Then I would recommend you go over here to this side of the screen and click the request templates, and you can browse those. We already have 21,000 templates already filled out for you. So all you have to do is go up here and type in the word, and look, we got 21 plumber templates already ready for you to go. So you could say, yeah, I want to use that as a template. So look, we got all the questions. How did you learn the skills for your job? What do you like best about your job? What personality traits have been important for you to be successful? Did you have a hobby that led you to the job of being a plumber? What would you do differently if you were starting over? Well, that's a great question. How important was your education? And what skills do you utilize most in your industry? What good questions. So you know what? Just go over here when it comes to doing a teacher requested session, browse the templates, pick and choose one, and put your spin on it. It'll be really fast and easy. So, any questions about those first two engagement models that are live and synchronous? The live industry conversations, connections, and the teacher requested sessions. Any questions? And I'm a good teacher, so I know how to count to 15 slowly and wait while you all think about what questions you might have about our live events. Okay, looks like we are good to go. And I'm so glad that we have people letting us know kind of what they do. Education Youth Advisor, she works first all the way to high school. Oh my gosh, that's very demanding. That's a lot of grades to cover. Well, our solutions do cover those grade levels, so this is good. So what do we do next? We've talked about our live industry connections. We've dug into a little bit of our teacher requested sessions. Now let's go to the video library. This is one of the most powerful and one of the most popular parts of this Pathful Connect solution. So we have these live industry connections that we record, those very exciting industry-based sessions. We also record each and every one of the teacher requested sessions. We take all of those videos, we carefully blur out any students' faces because we are FERPA and COPA compliant. We do not reveal personal identifying information of students ever, because if you do that, you can be fined by the federal government to the tune of $50,000 per student. So we've never done that, and we will never do that. We work with a third party that makes sure we are 100% certified to be compliant with FERPA and COPA. And then we turn all these live events, record, edit them, and put them into the video library. And check out the number of videos we have in our video library. Wow. 16,435 videos that you can search, filter, cross-filter, and use, and so can your students. So this is a resource that your students and your teachers have access to. Let's look at this. You can search by career cluster, including college and career readiness, which is a whole category. I know that's not a career cluster, but that is an important part of what we do in education. You can, let's say I want something about career college readiness, and I want it to be appropriate for high school students, and I want it to be a full-length video. Or let's say I just want it to be a short video. So that takes the 16,435 videos. Now we only have 700 videos. So I might want to take a look in here, and then I might want to look for a special clue word of college. And now that takes it down to 55 videos. So that's great. We have universities like Purdue University. We have other professionals that aren't directly linked to a single school. Here's one from New Jersey City University, talking about how to do college and military at the same time. Wow, that's interesting. I didn't know you could do that. So we have all kinds of people that are going to help them talk about what does it mean to get ready to go into college and maybe pursue a specific career in college, like podiatry, engineering, careers in healthcare. How do you rise in the rank of military, and how does that connect to post K-12 education? What kind of education does forensic scientists, what do they have to do? So internships, how do they play a role? So lots of really cool videos here. Let's take a look at one of the videos. I'm just going to go career search, college search video, factors to consider as you're searching for college. Let's just take a quick look at this chat.
Sheet that is supposed to give you a sense of kind of like what I was saying, a self-survey and a bunch of questions that you can go through and really rank yourself. And this is something I can share with you. a bit later. I guess after the session, I can send the link to a bunch of statements where you can agree or disagree with these statements. And at the end of it, scroll down so you can see there are different sections for this. So there's enthusiasm for school, how much of a participant you are when you're learning, affection for knowledge, basic academic skills, but then also your sense of independence, career orientation, social consciousness, self-understanding. So a bunch of these categories that.
Those are new categories for me. So this must be one of the newer self-surveys that really kind of helps you understand what your values are, how you learn, and what's important to you. So this is a powerful way for you to learn. If I want to take that and add it to a playlist or share it, I just simply click on these buttons. We encourage people, if they watch a video they really like, to like the video. This helps other people know the more popular videos. By the way, she happens to be a marketing director, but she obviously went to college to get her marketing degree, so she has some great tools to share with you. If I want to add it to a playlist, I simply click this and I can add it to a playlist. If I want to share it, it's really easy to share. I can share it to my Google Classroom, or I can embed the code of this video into another LMS, Learning Management Solution. Or if I just want to click and just put the link into an email or a website, I can do that too. The beauty of all of these tens of thousands of emails is students do not have to have an account or be logged on in order to play the link to the video. Once the video is shared by the educator, that is self-contained, they can watch the video. So it makes it easy to share, easy to use. Let's go back to our dashboard one more time. So we've looked at the live industry connections, the teacher requested sessions, we've talked about the video library. Now let's go to the fourth and final engagement model, the Career Explorer. The Career Explorer is a powerful database that actually is based on this website, the ONET website. I'll tell you about the ONET website. If I go to the ONET website right now, you'd see right away, it's really geared more towards adults. It's got very tiny font, it's very dense, it's got thousands of links, and you can get, even I as an adult can get lost on that website. There is so much information. It is mind-boggling and overwhelming. So what we decided to do was to take, in this one little corner of our solution, take the most important parts of that website, which is free and open to the public to use because it's the US government, and it changes and it updates. And we're gonna make the greatest hits of, and the junior version of ONET, which is really great. So let's start over here with our interest profile. The interest profiler is a chance for you to answer questions, and I'll actually go into it. So how would you like to inventory supplies using a handheld computer? No, I am really not interested in inventorying things. That would just not make me very happy. How would you like to test the quality of parts? Testing quality, probably not as bad as just inventorying, but not really crazy about that either. How would you like to develop a way to better predict the weather? Now, weather is something I'm fascinated with. So I kind of would like to be a meteorologist or work with weather. That might be cool. So as you can see, you can actually save the progress and continue that later. But I've already done this assessment. And you can see here, my big area is highly creative. I have quite a bit of investigate. I'm curious. As my mom and dad used to tell me, you are just so nosy, Selden. And I'd say, no, I'm just really, really curious. I'm insatiably curious. I also have a lot of social aspects to my personality, and I'm very enterprising, which is probably why I end up in sales. So these are good combinations for my job right now. And they're also good for teaching because you need to be social, you're working with other people, you need to be curious. I think lifelong curiosity is a good thing for teachers to have, and you need to be creative the way you present your lessons. So these held me in good stead during my teaching career. They're holding me in good stead in my sales career. What I'm not very strong in is conventionality and realism. Teachers tend to be a little more realistic than I am too. Maybe that was hard for me sometimes because I was more creative. But these kind of jobs that are really high in these areas are areas like a 911 operator that has to do it exactly the same way every time, ask the same questions and go through the list. A bank teller, an accountant, those kinds of jobs. Really strong, conventional, realistic, and that's why I probably would not want to do that. So once you come up with your own unique profile, by the way, this is based on the Holland codes, or the RIASEC model. It's currently called RIASEC for the RIA, Realistic and Investigative Artistic, SEC, Social, Enterprising, and Conventional. Once you do that, you can explore your matching careers. So here are some of the high-ranking careers that I would do well in. So I might say, well, I want to learn more about psychologists. I'm curious about that. Well, in a nutshell, here's what they do. These are the kind of the tasks that I'd be assigned to do in my job. It does require to be a full-blown, not just a counselor, but a clinical psychologist does require college doctorate or postdoctorate training. So, and my medium salary would be right here. The knowledge, skills, and abilities, the personality, and the technology I'd want to be good at. And then I can see here, and this changes from month to month. This is the range of salaries, and these are the states that I have California, Utah, Wisconsin, Illinois, West Virginia, Rhode Island, Massachusetts have a really high need for these right now. But the light gray states, which is your state, New Mexico, and moving northward towards Colorado, Wyoming, and all these other light gray states, which is a lot of states, they have a good average opportunity. The only states that are below average are actually Texas and northwards up to South Dakota and over towards Florida and up to Kentucky. This big chunk of the country, evidently, they have more psychologists right now than they have need for. So that would be below average opportunities. And again, I encourage kids to come back to this slide and refresh it because this changes on a regular basis. But you might also want to say, well, I want to go into my Career Explorer and I want to type in, my students, I've got a bunch of kids that they want to be part of the energy arena. Energy. Can I type today? No. So there are energy engineers, auditors, developers, wind energy engineers, and wind energy operational managers. See, these titles, those are so new to me. I don't even recognize that as a job, but it exists. There's 93 energy related jobs. So let's take a look and learn more about what a wind energy operations manager does. WEOM, a WEOM, we'll call them for short. I don't know if they do that, but I'm going to call it that. So they manage wind field operations, including personnel, so they'd hire people. They maintain maintenance activities, financial activities, and planning. That sounds pretty important. So I'm going to supervise employees and subcontractors. Wow, and look what kind of salary I can make doing that. 124 is my average. And it doesn't even require necessarily a bachelor's degree. There are people doing this job with an associate degree, maybe after 1 or 2 years of training. Wow, let me see where there's need for this. Okay, we've got good average need in our neck of the woods and above average in Nevada, California, Georgia, Louisiana, Tennessee, and Virginia, Maryland. But boy, I kind of like that salary. That's pretty cool. And then alternate energy, renewable energies, questions and answer with a wind farmer engineer. So these are the videos of the people who are into wind energy that I could learn more about this management position in wind energy. I need to learn about wind turbines and wind energy and ask questions about this wind farm engineer on designing wind energy. So renewable sources, wind power, non-renewable. Look at all these videos that I can get into all about alternate energy sources. Is wind energy big in New Mexico? I would think with parts of your state would be very conducive to wind energy because you've got the geography to support that, right? And other parts maybe not so much. In the mountains maybe not so much, but in the big flat parts, the plateaus maybe. Okay, so that is the fourth, we've got to move on to our next solution. So let me go back. That in a nutshell is our Pathful Connect. I'd like to now take you to, we'll move from K to 12. And this is our platform called Pathful Junior. And this is our K-5 Career and College Readiness Solution. This is a student view. You can see right there, it's a student dashboard. And by the way, you can see some of these are color-coded, gray, green, and blue. The reason that we color code and don't put grade levels on our lessons is because we don't want to limit you to their usage. So if you're working with a student that may be reading below level or dealing with a cognitive challenge, they may want to be working on easier lessons, even if they are a little bit older. And you'll find that these lessons are very engaging. They earn badges. Look at me, I've already earned 2 badges. And I actually earned those badges by going through the lessons. I assigned myself as a teacher, and then I went through as a student and earned these. So let's take a look at energy. We've been talking about energy. I want to restart this lesson. Can you all hear that?
Hi, I'm Zuri, but you can call me Z. I'm on an important mission to travel the world to help students like you decide what you want to be when you grow up. There are so many careers to choose from. I hope you'll join me. I've invited my friends to come along too. We call ourselves the Career Crew. At the end of today's journey, you can help us earn a badge. To know what kind of journey we'll be taking today, we have to look at clues. Show us, Beep 9.
I see a light switch, a solar panel, and a car.
Oh, I have a fact. Those clues mean that today's journey will take us to places where we can learn about jobs in the energy cluster.
Think about what happens when you get up in the morning. You turn on the lights. You eat breakfast. Maybe you go somewhere in a car or in a bus. Did you know that all of these activities require energy? Without energy, our cars wouldn't go, and we wouldn't have computers or robots. There are many different kinds of energy. Chances are you are already familiar with one kind: electricity. Energy is an essential part of our daily lives, and we have it thanks to people with jobs in the energy cluster. People like scientists, engineers, and technicians. Many different types of scientists help us find sources of energy. Geologists study the Earth. They search deep within the Earth for natural resources like coal and water. These natural resources are used to produce energy. Physicists study movement and force. They figure out how to harness energy from the wind and sun. Hydrologists study the motion of water. They help turn the movement of water into electricity. Sophisticated machines help convert natural resources into usable energy. For example, large turbines take the wind and turn it into electricity. Solar panels convert the sun's light to power all kinds of things we use every day. Engineers are the men and women who design, build, and maintain these machines. There are many kinds of engineers that specialize in different systems. These machines are installed and operated by technicians. Technicians make sure that the equipment is well maintained and working properly. People in many kinds of jobs work together to supply communities with energy. If you like science, math, and technology, and enjoy being outdoors, you might want a job in the energy cluster one day too.
Are you ready, Pete?
Ready!
We're about to shatter the limits of science to achieve what no robots ever achieved before. With the power of energy, we will become one!
We'll call ourselves Voltron! This won't be a permanent fusion, right?
Of course not. I know what I'm doing.
3, 2, 1. We did it! Woo! Yeah!
Volt, Beep, what did you do this time?
Oh, robots! I begged you. No more crazy experiments. Just look at yourselves.
Amazing, right? You can call us Voltron!
Don't worry, it'll be simple to split apart again. All we need is a little electricity.
Well, thanks to you, we don't have that at the moment. I'm calling an electrician.
Hey, I have a video of an electrician. While we're waiting for the power to come back on, I'll play it.
Electricity's invisible and it will kill you. My name's David Bennett. I work for Tenkata Geosynthetics. My job title is electrician, and we're located in Cornelia, Georgia. We're industrial electricians. We're not residential electricians. For the most part, we handle any kind of electrical breakdown. If the operator says, hey, my machine won't start, we're the first line of defense. They call us. We do a lot of PMs, preventative stuff. Preventative maintenance, the idea behind it is you want to catch stuff that could break and cause downtime. We're in the switchgear room, and this is the drive panels for extrusion line 4. These drives control all the motors on the lines. My job is to keep these up and running. Mainly what we look at is motor amp. If a motor starts drawing too many amps, then that's a sign of like a bearing failure or something's dragging the motor down. It could be something physically wrong with the motor. It is always a possibility that you could melt the wires.
Let's pause right there. And this just it really shows you an insight into a specific career within the energy sector. I do like the introductory videos. The fun narrative with the animated characters keeps the kids engaged, and they travel all over the world and get into all kinds of hijinks. But then they always come back to the serious matter of different careers in these sectors, which is really, really helpful for the teachers to be able to connect. What I love about these lessons is in order to review what they've learned, they use the core subject areas. They use the core subject areas of math and reading to review what they've learned in the lesson. So we know elementary teachers especially have to stay focused on those core curriculum areas. They don't have a lot of extra time to be teaching college career readiness, especially career readiness at that early age. But if they can use the math and reading as a way of reviewing what they've learned about different jobs, then they can accomplish 2 tasks at once. And that really makes it very doable for them. So I'm going to go back and look at my dashboard. So you can see here I'm earning badges. I can track my progress through the different lessons I've been assigned. If I go up here, I can even look at my profile, and I can see exactly I can look at my, I can change my avatar as well as looking at Career Central, which is a chance to look at all the different clusters and watch an overview movie on each of these clusters. Let's look at one. Let's look at human services. So this human services is an interesting broad area. I can look at this overview video. I can also look at these particular jobs that are in the human services career cluster. A psychotherapist, a personal trainer, a nutritionist, an athletic assistant, a basketball trainer, a hairstylist. So all these wonderful introductory videos introducing them to a specific person, a massage therapist, a social worker, a sociologist. Wow, lots of really wonderful videos that are going to give insight into this cluster. So these could be used in many different ways. So that in a nutshell is our elementary Pathful Junior. In our last 20 minutes or so, I want to jump to our third and final solution. This is virtualjobshadows.com, but now it's called Pathful Explorer. This is for our middle school and our high school students. And they can start off again by taking an assessment. So they would go to their tools, they would take any one of our assessments, and they could do a career cluster interest survey. They can also take the easy version if they are struggling with reading, where it reads it to them. They can do an interest profiler. They can do a work importance locator. This will help them learn about their work values. Just to give you an idea, let's start a new one of these. So this kind of gives you an introduction, and then they can start the inventory. So they have these work value cards, and they put them in most important, important, not important or unimportant, to less important or the least important. So is it really important for you to make use of your abilities? Yeah, I would be pretty frustrated if my skills weren't used in my job, but I don't know if that's the most important, but that's pretty darn important. So I'm going to put that there. Is it important for me to try out my own ideas? Yeah, I really do like to try my own ideas, but I realize that doesn't always happen. I would never be pressured to do things that go against my sense of right and wrong. Really, really important. I do not want to have to do something criminal or illegal. That's way up there. That I be treated fairly by the company. You know, that's really important to me. I don't like to see people treated unfairly. The job would provide for steady employment. Yeah, that's really important too. The work could give me a feeling of accomplishment. I do like feeling like I do have a sense of accomplishment. So I'm going to put that here in important as well. I could work alone. You know what? That is the least important. I really don't like working alone very much, so that's going to go way down here. My pay would compare well with that of other workers. Yeah, that's pretty important. That's why I'm in sales. I could do things for other people. Yes, that's also very important. Now I've run out of things here. So since I'm going to move this one down and move this one in here. I can be busy all the time. I don't have to be super busy all the time. That's less important. But I don't want to be bored either. My coworkers would be easy to get along with. Yeah, I would like to be able to get along with all my coworkers. Let's see. I have supervisors who back up their workers with management. Yeah, I'd like to be, but I'm very independent. So honestly, I don't mind having a lot of freedom to do my own work. I would receive recognition. Sure, I would like to do that. So let me move that up here. Let's see, move those around to make sure they follow my values. The job would provide an opportunity for advancement. Yeah, I would like that. But you know, at this point in my career, that's not as important for me. They train me well. I pretty much am already trained. So for my career right now, no. The job would have good working conditions. Yeah, I want to have good working conditions and make decisions on my own. Let's see. I will put that here. I could give instructions to others. No, I don't have to boss other people around. That's fine with me. I do something different every day. Yeah, I do like to do some variety in my life. And then I could plan my work with little or no supervision. Yeah, that's okay for me. That's pretty important. But I would never be pressured to do things against my right or wrong. I thought he chose that for my number one reasons. Let's see, good working conditions, not as picky about, but that right and wrong thing is really important for me. So I'm going to now say I've completed my task and I'm going to submit that. So this tells me what's really important to me. Achievement and looking for jobs that obviously in sales, you get to focus on your achievement of selling or not selling. My relationships with my customers, super important. I do like that recognition. I do need working conditions and support. You know, I'm not that picky about, but this really does help me understand my values. So there is some wonderful, wonderful tools in here. Setting your goals, having a post-secondary plan. We walk them through step by step in creating a resume and a cover letter. That's really important for them too. So let's say they've taken some of these surveys and it's going to point them in towards clusters that are important for them. So that's going to help me go over here to my Career Central and my careers. So let's look at Career Central first. Career Centrals let them look at clusters of careers. Here we have our clusters, all of them. And so let's take a look at clusters. I'm curious what science, technology, engineering, and math look like. So let's look at the overview video for that, just a couple of minutes.
STEM stands for science, technology, engineering, and math. The men and women who work in the STEM cluster are at the forefront of scientific innovation and discovery. Their work impacts humans, wildlife, oceans, rainforests, computers, just about everything you can think of on Earth, as well as in outer space. Let's start with science. Scientists share a natural curiosity about the topics they study. There are many different kinds of scientists. Some, like biologists, study living organisms here on Earth. Others, like astronomers and astrophysicists, study planets, solar systems, and other extraterrestrial objects. Next comes T, technology. Technology is all around us, thanks to the people who work in this cluster. Computer scientists create the software and hardware we use every day. Their expertise brings us the latest smartphones, apps, and gadgets. On to E, engineering. Engineers combine creative thinking with math, physics, and other sciences to solve real-world problems. Engineers have a variety of specialties. Some build mechanical systems, others design electrical systems,
and still others construct aircraft. All engineers are critical thinkers who work to find innovative solutions to all kinds of problems. Finally, M, math. Math is important to everyone, but especially to the people who work in this cluster. Knowledge of advanced math like calculus and statistics is critical for those who work on the front lines of scientific discovery. If you enjoy taking things apart to see how they work, you like solving challenging problems, you might choose to work in a STEM career someday.
Cool. So that gives us a nice overview of what STEM is all about. And then, of course, that's our kind of our overview cluster videos. We can also go into specific videos that show, let me get my picture out of the way here, specific career videos and career centers. So we can look at specific jobs. So let's look, and we can type in to search the careers. Let's look into a type of engineers. And let's search. So we have a software engineer, an aerospace engineer, a biotech scientist, an architect, a CEO, entrepreneur, and a civil engineer. Let's see, climate scientist. Let's go over here and look at an aerospace engineer. I'm curious. It looks like maybe there's a drone being built. I'm curious what this looks like. So we're going to meet an aerospace engineer. Here we go.
I love taking a new feature that we came up with in some meeting, put it through a development process and a testing process, and then brought it into our system and actually delivered it to a customer as a deliverable. It's extremely satisfying. My name is Alan Matthew. I'm the Research and Development Manager at Planck Aerosystems. We're here in the Chula Vista Marina in San Diego. Planck Aerosystems makes multi-rotor aircraft for the maritime industry. I evaluate and test new software, new hardware. I direct the engineering efforts towards creating new functionality in our systems to improve their capability. This is our simulation environment. So we're able to actually simulate the quadcopter without actually having to fly in the real world. To get to this point, it's been roughly 2 years of development effort. Weekly, we get to come out on our own boat and test our UAV systems. So we drive out in the bay or out into the ocean, testing new software, testing new systems, testing new applications. This is the landing platform that we use. So the drone finds this pattern, looking down, and actually lands dead center. This comes down on the boat. So that's how we find where the boat is. We also kind of use this to designate a landing area. The biggest problem that Planck Aerosystems has solved is the ability to launch and recover a drone from a boat. The boat is moving. Normally, you don't have to deal with a landing platform that's moving. So we had to write a lot of software, do a lot of simulation, do a lot of math to solve the problem of putting one thing that's moving around on another thing that's moving around and do it very accurately and safely. And it took the better part of a year and a half to really get that nailed down. 3, 2, 1. The best engineers are made from people who have a lot of creativity. The sort of crossover between an artist and an engineer is pretty close. You have to be very creative about solving problems. Engineers need to be very detail-oriented. They need to be methodical and careful about how they solve problems. So to actually land on the boat, I had to pick hardware that would support the software that we use to actually control the drone and land. So I had to pick the autopilot, I had to pick the camera, I had to pick the computer that does all of the control work, and I had to pick the radio to communicate with the boat. I have a master's degree in aerospace engineering and 10 years of experience, a lot of them either aerospace or maritime. We have a lot of other engineers who have bachelor's or master's degrees in some type of software discipline or engineering discipline. So Planck is a blue tech company. Blue tech is any type of technology which applies to the maritime industry, and the maritime industry could be a very wide net. And anything that's going to go on some type of vessel that's on or near the water. We focus heavily on the maritime industry. You can have a very good life with an engineering degree coming into the blue tech space. Entry level with a college degree is $80,000 to $100,000, and it goes up from there. I love my job because I get to build drones, because I get to design software, test new things, get to put really expensive cameras up in the air. I love everything about my job.
Awesome. I learned a new word, blue tech. Technology as it relates to the aquatic environment. I've been living in a landlocked space for quite a while, so that's probably why I'm not necessarily on the cutting edge of aqua technology. But how cool is that? And think about spending years carefully planning, designing, executing the ability for a drone that's moving through space to land on the top of a boat that's also moving through space simultaneously. That's pretty cool. How neat is that? I love it. So once we watch that video, and again, I think you saw the high production value of that video, right? Very clear, very different experience from our Zoom-based videos. We have wonderful conversations, but they're very informal, not very highly edited or scripted at all on the Connect side, because they have a different purpose. But in this case, we have to have super engaging, super high def, super high production value to get the kids' attention to really take a close look at that career and think about, hey, would I like to do that? Maybe I want to add that to my career. I can put a little heart there. And then my teacher can track which careers I'm looking at and thinking about. I could add that to my favorite playlist. I can also take a pop quiz. We didn't have this originally in this solution. Educators said we want a way for us to assess, not did they play the video, but were they paying attention? So we can go in, let's see how good we are at this. Let's take the quiz. I'm just real curious. What's the one thing that R&D manager says he loves about his job? No, that wasn't it. He didn't love telling engineers what to do. A new feature that they come up with, yes, he mentioned that. No, that was the only one. That was the only one. Which of these responsibilities of the R&D manager was featured? Evaluating and testing new software. I think yes. Select all that apply. Make sure the business is financed. No, he didn't. That's a finance person. Develop new ad. No, it's marketing. Direct engineering efforts toward improving their products. I think that would be also true. What is a big problem in Planck Aerospace has solved? A drone that has enough power to fly hours? No, he didn't mention that. A drone that can take pictures on the ocean floor? No. Building a drone that can land in the water and not become damaged? No. Launching and landing on a moving boat? That was it. And then finally, Planck Aerosystems engineers use math to solve the problem? Yes. And according to the research and development manager, artists and engineers are very different from each other. False. He said there was a huge overlap between the creativity of an artist and the creativity of a problem-solving engineer. Let's see how we did. We scored 100. Yay. We paid attention. And of course, this will be recorded and the teacher can go back and look and see were they really paying attention or not. So after you watch the job shadowing video, we have 2,000 of these videos, by the way, covering all the clusters. Let's look at some Q&A videos. So now we can say, which of these 5 questions do we want to have an answer for? How do you develop software? How should aspiring engineers, what should they do to improve their chances of getting an engineering job? That's a good question. What's one of the benefits of working at a small company? What do your drones land on? How do they land on moving boats? And what opportunities do they have? I'm curious about how can I improve my chances of getting a job? Let's listen to that real quick. It's just a few second video.
I mean, I think the biggest thing is to get involved in a robotics group within either your high school or your college. You'll obviously learn all of the fundamentals and all of the important things that you need to know in high school and college to do engineering, but without a hands-on experience, you're not really going to be as marketable to companies. So if you can go and say, me and my team in high school or in college built this that does XYZ, that's a much more valuable item to have on your resume than I got a degree in engineering.
That's fascinating, isn't it? So hands-on experience and projects in this particular professional's mind is more important than just the degree itself. Getting a certificate of some kind. Wow, that's very telling. I love that. So we can answer those questions. We can even read a lot about this. This, for those kids that are into reading text, that's how they process information. This is all the information that they want to have about the career description. They can also check out what kind of required education am I going to have? What kind of classes am I going to have to take? What kind of licensure, certification, or registration, or other experience am I going to have? What kind of earnings can I expect to have? And they'll compare yours, and my IP address is located in Texas, but your graph here will be New Mexico because it'll recognize that you're you're in New Mexico. So again, we can see the nice salaries that are there. The future outlook, per se, it's growing in the next 10 years quite a bit. That's good. And additional links to all the different national organizations for aerospace engineering. And then here's a college search. And it knows, again, I'm in Texas, in case you could look here in the state of New Mexico. So, Clovis Community College, Eastern New Mexico University. Is it Mesa Lands Community College, New Mexico Institute of Mining and Technology? Which ones are closest to you? Let's see. Socorro's down by El Paso, I think, right? No. Is there a Socorro, New Mexico and a Socorro, Texas? Not really sure. Los Alamos is...
So Socorro is, I bet they're talking about that university that's New Mexico Tech.
Yes.
And it is about, from Los Lunas, it's about 20 minutes from here, just south of here.
Oh, cool.
So it's kind of like on the southern end in between Albuquerque and yeah.
So
mostly Albuquerque and San Antonio, turning up to San Antonio.
Yeah. When I click on the link, it takes me to a really nice visual graphic of what the ratio is for teachers and students. I like that smaller ratio, 11:1. If I really value that more intimate class experience, I might want to check out this school. I can go to the main website. I can find out about financial aid, how to get admitted, their mission statement, the majors they offer, what kinds of population like, how does their ethnicity break up? Am I going to feel a part of this group or not? And how much it's going to cost to go there. So this is all in one place. And we have this for every kind of school in the nation, whether it's a technical school, a 4-year degree, a 2-year degree, a specialty school, like a barber school, cosmetology, all that kind of stuff. So that's pretty cool. And I can compare colleges side by side as well. So that's really nice. Let me go back and look and see what else is here. Jobs and internships. I can also search for a job, for an internship over like the summer in aerospace engineering. Now this is in Dallas. Aeronautic engineering for aircraft in Plano, which is 15 minutes from me, does have a summer internship. And again, I might want to change that. And let's look at, see if there's anything in New Mexico for this. Look at that, in Las Cruces, an associate mechanical systems engineer. They're either hiring or doing an internship. So look at all these New Mexico opportunities for engineers. Oh my gosh. Wow. And it's just page 1. There's also page 2. This is all just in Las Cruces, Los Alamos, Las Cruces, Albuquerque, White Sands Missile Range. So yeah, lots of opportunities for engineering in New Mexico. That's pretty cool. Okay, so that is our little Career Central. We have also a whole area, and I want to just spend a minute or two here, called life skills. It's so important. We know that skills that are specific content skills are just a part of what we do in education. They're a big part. But in addition to just knowing how to do something, we also have to know how to get along, how to communicate, how to listen, how to collaborate, how to work on a team, how to follow directions. And so we have, when it comes to life skills, where's life skills? These are all our life skills. There are over 463 life skill videos. Let's think about that student that might have a physical challenge. And I want to hear from Greg Otterholt about his experience as a professional.
I was born without an arm. And at 9 months old, I was fitted with a prosthetic very similar to this, but about this long. And I just learned to make that my arm. As I was growing older, I'd have to jump through hoops and figure out different ways to adapt to whatever situation. Zipping a coat, tying a shoe was the first kind of thing that I had to think about. Then as I got older, how am I going to play baseball? How am I going to play piano or drums or type? I figured out I have an advantage because I can problem solve. I can figure out ways around challenges. I can figure out different ways of doing things that are even better than what somebody with 2 hands can do. I can hold things that are super hot with this and it ain't gonna melt or burn skin. Part of the beauty of having a challenge like this, people call it a physical challenge or a handicap or a disability. the self-motivation that comes with having a challenge in your life makes you that much more marketable in the real world because you know how to prevail. You know how to get past the challenges. And that ability is something that can work in every career. It can work in real life. It can work in relationships.
Wow, what a powerful message. I love that. I love his choice of words, a challenge, not a disability. So what a powerful mindset. I love these life skill videos. I really, really do. They are just talk about how the importance of working in a diverse work culture makes you more effective as a company, pays off a good leadership and personal accountability, the culture of sameness, how that can inhibit productivity and growth, a job in sales, so all these striving for excellence, a well-designed resume, why that's so important. So man, talk about these wonderful life skill videos. They're short. Literally, some of them are just a minute long, 2 minutes long, some are 3 or 4, but they're all so digestible, very short and quick and easy. I love our life skill videos. I really do. And over here, you can sort and filter them, right? So all these are all about first jobs, all about financial literacy, all about overcoming obstacles. How cool is that? Yeah. So those are our life skills sections. We have a whole area about searching for colleges, applying for scholarships, applying for colleges, all from our website. Let me get this out of the way here. Jobs, you can actually job search. We have a partnership with Indeed.com, and you can search for the jobs through Indeed, but on our website, which is really great. You can search for internships and also powerful search engines here. So I know our time is up already. I can't believe our time is gone, but I just wanted to share with you these 3 tools that are so powerful. Pathful Connect for those live industry connections via our version of Zoom. Pathful Junior for those K through 5 year 5th graders, and then picking up in middle school and high school with the Pathful Explorer, the last solution we just saw, where students can navigate that whole pathway from assessment to planning to searching for colleges, searching for their career cluster they want to do, applying for an internship, getting a job, all the way from planning to placement, all from one website. Very powerful resource for you. Okay, it's time. Our time is up. Thanks so much for your attention, and I look forward to having a chance to maybe visit with you in the future so you could bring these powerful tools to your students. Thanks.